Hey guys, welcome back to the Murmuring Mother. I'm Jill, and I am sharing a vlog every single day for 30 days to see what happens as I am working to grow this channel and connect with other like-minded Christian moms wanting to learn more about traditional values, homeschooling, homesteading, Eastern Orthodoxy, all the things. So hello and welcome. I am making nature wind chimes with my kids, or at least attempting to. I have no idea if I'm doing this right, but I don't want to use any glue, and we're gonna try and just get them together with strings. So we're gonna see if this actually works. But anyways, it has been 2 days technically since I have posted a vlog, which I know I said I was gonna do. Oh, I broke that one. Oh no. I know I said I was gonna do one every day, but I think that this kind of like fits into honestly what I wanted to talk about anyways. And so it's been 2 days, which the last one would have went up on Sunday. What ended up happening was Monday, we were going out we had a bunch of errands that we had to run. And I bought a Suburban 2 weeks ago that has been given some difficulties. And now it's back at the dealer again. And I think it's going to end up getting a whole brand new transmission that we don't have to pay for, thank the Lord, because we just bought this vehicle. But anyways, so I had the Suburban on Monday. We just picked it up on Friday. And I was driving on Monday, and all of these lights came back on that it was giving me difficulty with before. It was just giving me issues. And I called the dealership, and they're like, okay, we might need a few more. Try and get some bigger ones.
Bigger ones?
Yeah. So I took it back. They agreed that it's the transmission. They're looking at it, all this stuff. But on that same day, so my husband travels for work for a lot, and he was only supposed to be gone Tuesday to Wednesday of this week. And usually if it's a longer trip, we know very much in advance. Okay. Usually we know pretty far in advance whenever he has a longer trip. And I found out on Monday that his trip got extended until Friday night. So on top of dealing with this like car issue, and then I found out that my husband was going to be on a work trip. Oh, there's a big bumblebee. Go on, honey. His trip got extended until late Friday night. Well, that brought us down to one car, which meant I had to also drive my husband to the airport yesterday at 4 a.m. And I have to pick him up late Friday night because we only have one car right now. And I also had like a mini family crisis thing happen with my mom, who I don't speak to. I don't have a relationship with her, but some stuff happened that I had to talk to her on Monday and kind of work through. So there was like a lot that happened on Monday. It was also the 8-year anniversary of my grandmother's death, who I was very close to and who raised me. Just a lot happened on Monday, and I did not get to posting a YouTube video. So that happened, and I think that that's okay. Like, this is a new journey for me getting on YouTube, and it's a habit that I have to instill, and still showed up today. Now, what happened yesterday was truly, it was a depressive day. So Monday was hard with all that kind of stuff that happened, mostly just with stuff with my mom more than anything. And
can we need pine cones?
Yes.
I got some, Mom.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
That's fine. Go find feathers. Those would be great.
Flowers.
Feathers would be great.
Not flowers?
Flowers would also be great.
Okay. Grass?
Not grass.
Okay.
Okay, so anyways, I was up at 3:30 yesterday to take RJ at 3:30 in the morning to take my husband to the airport with all the kids. And like, it was just heavy what had happened the day before with my mom. And then I had this weird thing happen in the morning. I had a very like blatantly obvious spiritual warfare attack from the enemy. It was very obvious. I'm not really going to get into the details of it, but it happened, and I let my husband know, and then ended up actually calling my priest and talking to him about it, which helped a lot. So yesterday was like a very, very heavy day. I feel like, oh goodness, where did you find that?
This is a movie.
Got your walkie-talkie? All right, go see Sissy. Sissy's exploring. And when we got home from our CC Community Day, it was a rainy, crappy day too. And I was like, you know what? We're watching a movie and relaxing. And that's what I did. I didn't do anything else. And I recognized that for what it was. And I called my husband last night and I was like, you know what? Today was kind of like a depressive day. It just felt awful day. I was like, but I don't want to feel this way anymore. So I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to do some prayers. And I'm going to wake up tomorrow and have a really good day. Take the kids. We went to a safari day today. And I'm not going to let that happen again. And I'm not going to have another depressive day. We're going to be productive again. I don't need that one, Bubba. Go throw that in the woods. That's okay. So here we are. Woke up this morning, cleaned up my house. We packed up. We went up to a local animal park safari, which was really fun. They're doing like this home education program. So the kids learned a lot today there. And now we're at home. And I'm playing catch up by recording this YouTube video while simultaneously we're attempting to make nature wind chimes. We'll see. Or mobiles or something, just something that like hangs. I don't know, we're trying. Just to stay outside because it feels really good. And the sunshine's good for your mental health. So that brings me to what I wanted to talk about today, which is actually on like intention. I feel like today's world, you know, we hear of people doing all of these awesome things and being busy, but in a good way, productive busy. And oftentimes we're like, how do you do it all? How do you do this? For example, there's a woman who altered a dress for me recently for a wedding. And she was telling me she's 2 daughters. And when she was a full-time dental hygienist, her daughters were very much involved in the local theaters and stuff. And she made all of the costumes. She's a seamstress. She made all of the costumes. And there was one year her girls combined were in like, I think she said it was like 60 shows or something in one year. And she made all of the costumes for every show.
I just turned my episode up there.
Yeah.
I'll do that again.
Okay.
I'm trying to scare you.
You're trying to scare me.
Yeah.
But she made all of the costumes for every show. And while still having, you know, a full-time job and stuff too. I mean, that's costumes for all of the cast members for all of these shows in one year. She made them from scratch. She actually said that the reason she started making them was because the person who did them before would just go to Goodwill and like find things, and it worked, but like she knew she could make actual good time period pieces and stuff. And she didn't charge anyone anything. She just did this. And you know what? She wasn't asked all the time. How do you do it? How do you find time for this? Do you know why? Because she did it quietly. Because it was before technology blew up like this, where we're all on social media showing off everything that we're doing. You know, I'm guilty of it too. I'm literally growing an online business. So I'm online all of the time. And that is one of the main questions that I get when I talk about MBM Press, or I talk about, you know, what my husband and I want to do, and homesteading and the church and launching a blog and podcast and all these different things, and also homeschooling. And it's like, I get asked all of the time, how do you do this? How do you do it all? And truly, I think it comes down to intention. You know, before social media, before technology, this was the most common thing, was family businesses. Before the Industrial Revolution, it was more common for families to make a living doing something together. And that is still completely possible today. And I think it just looks differently. Before when this happened, when families were making an income together at home, it was a lot of handicrafts or skilled trades and stuff, craftsman things. And we still have that today, but we have leverage where we can, sell to a much broader audience because of marketing on social media. But at the same time, content monetization is very, very real. And many people are making such a really good full-time income off of making content. And this is oftentimes something that's made fun of, right? People won't take influencers seriously, which I don't really like the term influencers, but I mean, that's what you are. But they don't like to take that term seriously or something. I think that we get lost because we forget about the intention behind it. Sometimes people see content creation and they see a lot of vanity and sinful pride within it. But I think a lot of us who are doing this as a means to live the old ways, as a means to be able to make an income at home for your family, not just, become some millionaire TikToker, but those of us who are truly using it for the good reasons that it even exists. It's a lot of really hard work. And the intention behind it is like, this is how we run family businesses in today's world. Whether it's that you're making it through content creation or that you're using content creation to market the product that your family makes, the business that your family provides. But there's the intention behind that. And then also, like, the intention in everything that you do in everyday life. It is completely possible to do, quote unquote, all of the things, to keep up with your home, to homeschool, to work full time, to do all of the things and have all of the time, depending on your intention. What? I know. What I mean by this is like, could we how do you have time? This is my existence. This is literally, I don't need that right now. Don't throw it. That's a really cool walking stick though. Please don't throw that over my phone. This is my life. Like, I don't spend every single night doing nothing but binging TV. This is what I do. I'm sitting here multitasking. I have a tripod up and my phone recording and a microphone. And I'm literally talking to you while making nature crafts with my kids. I'm not scrolling social media all the time. I can't keep up with half the influencers. I really don't want to either. There's a lot of, don't go in that duck water. You can, have a lot of comparison syndrome whenever you're just, when you're in this realm, but that's a whole other topic for a different day. I have to remember my why, like why I'm doing this. Our dream is that my husband is able to come home from his job and we can run a full-time homestead and business together. And we have other dreams from that we'd love, that we pray would come to fruition if they're within God's will for us. But in order to do that, I have to do this. In order to get to where we want to be, I have to do this. And I'm not going to get anywhere in life. I'm never going to achieve those dreams and those goals of ours by sitting and watching TV, by scrolling social media endlessly, by remaining distracted by society. I have to be productive. I have to be doing the thing that I say that I'm doing. And that comes down to your intention behind it, your intention behind, your why of why you're doing the thing and maintaining productivity while doing it. It's a lot of multitasking, what I'm doing. That's how I do it all. Now, do I hope to have help and hire a virtual assistant one day or someone who can edit my content for me or edit our podcast episodes for us? Yeah, I would love that. I'd love to gain some time freedom back by having that. But that's going to take time to get to there. And again, my intention, right? Before I hire anyone, I need to know what it is that I'm doing. I need to know my creative style and how I want this brand to be presented online and how I want to be talking to people and how I want my content to look. I have to know that before I can hire someone and explain to them how to do it for me. I've said this before, but it's like a CEO of a business. You know, some of the most successful ones started at a lesser job in the company as a janitor or something, and they know every single job. They know how to do it inside and out, and that's why they got to where they are. And it's the same thing in this realm. Before I can hire, I have to learn how to manage myself. I have to, manage our business finances before I can take on payroll of literally paying someone, and all these different things. And so there's a lot of lessons, but again, it comes down to that intention, right? Where do you want to get in life? What are you praying for? What is it that you want to do? What are you trying to achieve? Do you want to get out of debt? Do you want to lose weight? And then you figure out what are the action steps that you need to take, and you remain so intentional about every single thing that you do. You remain intentional about the food that you are buying at the grocery store and mindful of what you're eating. You remain intentional about what you're spending and your weekly budget meetings with your husband. You remain intentional about the content you're creating, when you're creating it, how you're making time for it. Our life looks a little bit different. When I put my kids to bed at night, I'm laying on the floor waiting for them to fall asleep while I'm on my phone editing a YouTube video. That looks a little bit different than it does in other families. But that's how I do it all. That's how I balance it. I am very intentional about every single thing that I do. And I think that just gets lost. And I think we need to come back to that kind of a mindset. It's not so much of having this step-by-step amazing morning routine that you do, that all the millionaires do, and these different things. No, it's about being intentional about the decisions you're making and the actions you're taking. That was a really good quote, actually. It is about being intentional about the decisions you're making and the actions you're taking. And that's the hill that I will die on. I'll share more in depth about literally how I balance all of this right now. I see, that's really cool. Can you go get your sister out of the lean-to, please? So, my advice for you today is, what is it that you're wanting to do? What is a goal you want to achieve? And how can you be intentional about it? And what are the steps that you need to take to get there? I could have easily just, I took the last 2 days off of YouTube unintentionally because of some mental stuff that I was going through and some spiritual battles. And I could have easily been like, you know what? I missed 2 days. I'm done. What's the point of growing on YouTube? But I could have, it's like those TikToks where it's like, you accidentally drop a piece of laundry, so you dump the entire basket of laundry on yourself, or you spill a little bit of water, so you just dump the whole cup of water. That doesn't make sense. Get back to it. Okay? I took 2 days off, and I'm right back at it, because I'm so intentional, because in the 6 days that I was doing it, we gained 40 subscribers. And I was really enjoying this. And I'm getting used to being on YouTube. And I was getting in the habit of making these videos. But I also know the goals that we want to achieve. And I'm not going to achieve them if I don't do this. And I hope that this video helps. I feel like this is just going to be something that I am harping on for a while and talking about. It's just be so intentional about what you do, and you'll get so much further. We can't just wing it. We can't just do something random and pray for the best. It's not, very few people win the lottery. But you know who does succeed? The people who are intentional and continue to persevere no matter what. So I hope that you liked this video. If you did, you can expect more, especially throughout these next 20-some days as I continue this 30-day journey. Come here. Be sure to subscribe, send it to your friends, send it to whoever you think would benefit from this. But thank you guys for watching, and I will be back tomorrow for day 10, because I'm combining 7, 8, 9. I'll be back tomorrow for day 10 of the vlogs. Thanks guys for hanging out. Be intentional with what you do, and God bless. Dabba 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 dabba.